Shoot, I should have,
In death, the body is cooling, but energy radiates from the stone.
Guess that's our ticket out when we want to leave.
Remarkable. Truly.
Oh, hey.
And now the picture comes together. The Absolute is neither god nor man. It is the Elder Brain you saw, held here by those three against its will. The crown it wears controls it, and these stones control the crown. It has been dominated. To master an Elder Brain, to subdue it. Our enemies are formidable.
Okay, first off, Ketheric transformed during the fight. Man, I want to ask pretty much everything. Let's do a quick save, just in case. How is it you're able to leave the astral prism now?
A temporary reprieve, but a welcome one. With a brain on its way to the city, its influence here is weakened.
What are these stones?
The crown's markings suggest it was forged in Netheril, an ancient empire whose mastery over magic rivaled that of the gods. It is a crown of domination. The stones were taken from its crest. They are nether stones, imbued with the ability to control the wearer of the crown. The crown's Netherese magic must be the true source of the parasite's abilities. This must be what elevates their potential. And it must be the reason nobody could heal you. If the crown can do this to the parasite, I dare not imagine what it is doing to the brain.
Do you know who our enemies are?
One of them I know, Lord Enver Gortash, an arms dealer and a slaver. A worshipper of Bane, the god of tyranny. The other is a mystery to me, but the way she spoke, it is most likely she follows Baal, god of murder. Ketheric was a follower of Merkel, which means the Absolute is a front for the gods of death, and our enemies are the chosen of the dead three.
Chosen of the dead three?
Bane, Baal, and Merkel. The tyrant, the assassin, and the necromancer. They are known to pick from their most devout followers a chosen, granting them incredible powers.
Yes, they're essentially
Each
avatars.
one alone would be a formidable enemy. But working together and controlling an Elder Brain, I dare not imagine what they might achieve.
Alright, so what's the plan?
We prepare for the fight of our lives, and the lives of everyone in Faerun. The army of the Absolute is marching on Baldur's Gate. Within the city, an Elder Brain, brimming with power, ready to turn everyone within its reach into mind flayers. All it needs is an order. An order the Death Gods chosen are on the cusp of giving. We must wrest control of the brain from the chosen before that happens. We must take their stones. Our chances of success are slim, but we must not fail. If we fail, everything ends. I will be your shield, but you must be the sword. And when the chance comes to strike, you must take it, for there may only be one chance.
He had Kethric's Warhammer. Just a Warhammer with plus 1d4 psychic. Okay. Reaper's Embrace, very rare heavy armor. Magical plate, all incoming damage reduced by 2. Reaper's Rigidity, when activated, you can't be moved against your will by any spell or action, but have disadvantage on dex saving throws. Disadvantage on stealth checks. Howl of the Dead cantrip. Let out a bone-chilling howl that numbs nearby creatures for 3 turns. Numbing is movement speed halved, yeah. Oh, and the spellcaster's advantage on attack rolls against them. Ketheric's Shield, +2 rare shield. Arcane enchantment, give a +1 bonus to spell save DC and spell attack rolls. And it gives Shield Bash, advantage on Dex saving throws check. Crumpled note and a supply pack. Gimme. Hey, Shadowheart, we've got some new plate mail for you. Some cool new plate mail. Enjoy the Reaper's Embrace. How's it look on her? Cool. Also, one sec. That doesn't look nerfed. That still looks plenty sexy. Ketheric's Shield, I don't think is better than the Shield of Devotion. Is it? Maybe it is. What was the fight? We fought Ketheric Thorm, apostle of the dead god Merkel, the necromancer. And fighting him was tough. Then he decided to just let God take the wheel and turned into a giant bone daddy avatar of the dead god. So, phase 2 happened. Has Fire Shield Chill on it. Is that better? Yeah, it is. Absolute's Protector is a better shield than Ketheric's Shield. In the Theater of Dreams, Ketheric killed his wife every night. That wasn't how things happened, but always upon waking, he would glare into the dark, long-faced and solemn, and he would think, "Keep you alive with my memories, beloved. I kill you with what I've become." His armor. Heavy steel bones and teeth enclose the armor's chest and neck like a grotesque exoskeleton that both swallows and protects the wearer. Should have read his hammer description as well. Hey, Will, can you use a shield? You can. Here, have a shield. There you go. Now your AC isn't so pathetic. Crumpled note. Papa, I love you. Love from is all. He kept a love note from his daughter. Poor guy.
Have to keep going.
He had a rough deal. Now, his solution to having a rough deal was kill everyone, become evil, but not necessarily the best solution, but everyone has a midlife crisis, right? The Grand Design, dictated to Scribe Yanthus by Enver Gortash. The Grand Design is the Mind Flayer's species-wide ambition to return to the days of their conquering greatness through an act of sudden mass ceramorphosis, giving the Elder Brain in overall command an implacable army of Illithid slave warriors with which to defeat all their old enemies, human and humanoid, Githyanki and Ulatharid. Of course, this is delusional madness, megalomania on a cosmic scale, and I know just how to turn it to our purposes. We're going to help the Mind Flayers enact their grand design, but only in the way that suits us. The Illithid shall have their crusade to enslave, but they will be acting in turn as our slaves. And we shall determine the how, when, and where of their great Illithid outbreak. To be precise, I, Gortash, will determine these things, as commanding the grand design is clearly a Bay Knight task. Not quite, Pieris. It's been a bit... It was a bit worse, because if you go around the entire area of Act 2 that we've been going around, you get bits and pieces of Ketheric Thorm's backstory and everything like that. And dude really had it pretty rough. But again, his solution to my wife died shortly after my daughter was born, followed by my daughter died shortly after my wife died, was to, you know, do this let's enslave the world thing. Well, actually, less than that. He made a bad decision and was then bound by contract to continue this, even if he didn't want to. While the skull and triangle are made from cheap pewter, rumors suggest the red handprint is made exclusively with blood from ritual sacrifice. What a lovely amulet. Yep, his first solution was basically, let's put it this way. He was a follower of Selûne and felt abandoned by the goddess and abandoned by his religion entirely because his family died young and unjustly, and he was left with, in his mind, nothing. So he turned to the opposite of Selûne, joined Shar, and said he would destroy Selûne and all Selûnites. Then, after dying on his crusade doing that, after he was put down by a congregation of all the people that were like, no, still angry and lashing out, he gave his soul over to Merkel. Because he still wanted revenge on Selûne especially, but the world in general. And then many years later, when we brought this up to him and how his family would be disappointed in him, he basically said, I know, but at this point, it's too late. I literally can't stop even if I wanted to. So, it is what it is. Dude made some real bad decisions. And by the time he realized they were bad decisions, he's stuck in the bad decisions. Stuck in a bed of his own making. Alright, underneath this book, concerning the cult of the Absolute and the dangers it presents, is scrawled this response to the text. This hastily written drivel is admittedly well-intentioned. Its author is clearly fizzing with fear of the Absolute. The problem is that they conflate the rise of the cult with other things like the heat death of the universe, the resurrection of one-eyed Vecna the Lich, the proliferation of necromantic excess, and even the withering of some imported fruits from Chult. This person needs a glass of water and a lie down. The resurrection of Vecna? Oh boy. So for those that don't know, Vecna is a big name in D&D because he's basically considered one of, if not the most powerful Lich ever to come into existence in the multiverse, right? To the point that he was so powerful that pieces of his body are sought out by people just to attach to themselves, because it would grant them insane power. Just the one eye of Vecna being implanted into you would grant you level 20 character powers. That kind of power. So Vecna became a god into his own right. And that's what Vlaakith is trying to do as the Lich Queen of the Githyanki, but she is nowhere near as powerful as Vecna. But she's getting there. She's trying. She's giving it the old college try. Okay, invitation to Lord Gortash. Lord Gortash, the Committee of Concerned Patriarchs would like to extend an invitation to a formal meeting at the High Hall to discuss plans, short and long term, for the economic livelihood of Baldur's Gate. Tuesday, the 12th, noon, a luncheon will be served. May we presume your attendance? Lord Hir Rillen, Committee Chair. Yeah, Vecna wouldn't need a wish to kill you. No. No, let's put it this way. If Vecna was the one that wanted the artifact, Vecna would be able to know where the artifact is and get it. If Vecna wanted to kill the our little patron in the astral realm, Vecna would be able to do it. Vlaakith is probably not half as powerful as Vecna, you know? Vecna is like an apocalypse level thing. If Vecna shows up in the realm, you're pretty fucked.
Whatever comes, I'm ready. On I go.
Can we pick him up? He's too heavy. How much does he weigh? $75 kilograms. It's pretty high.
Seek and you shall find me. The pride of the gate.
You could pick him up. What do you mean? He's only 75 kilograms. You got plenty. Add him to your inventory now. Hold on. What if I drop this? All right, whatever. Why am I still carrying this anyway? There's nothing in it. Just been carrying it for no reason. Yeet! Some real soy boy strength. Look, everyone in this party is not built for the strength stuff. And I can't grab anyone from my camp because we're in the middle of a mind flare colony, you know, no camp. Okay, before we go, let's level up. We are now level 10. Maybe Shadowheart? Nah, I tried her. She doesn't have the strength either. We get another sorcery point. Level 3 spell slot unlocked with our sorcerers. Gain a spell. Elemental affinity damage. There we go. Nice. When you cast a spell that deals damage of the type associated with your draconic ancestry, you add your charisma modifier to the damage, which is really nice because we have it as fire. Elemental affinity resistance. When you cast a spell that deals damage to the type that, you can spend 1 sorcery point to gain resistance to that damage type. Very nice. And we can replace a spell. Let's gain a new spell. Level 3 spells. Yay! What should we take? They buffed Dragonborn breath weapons? Yeah, I actually saw what they buffed it by. It was... Oh, this spell's a different version of the one you already know. You'll have access to both. That's actually... I should take that, yes. So I saw it. It seems really underwhelming. Like, the Dragon Breath weapon already seemed really underwhelming, and the buff seems still really underwhelming. So, you know. I don't think the human race needs a buff. Okay, if I were to change something... Oh, I changed Detect Thoughts, yes. We'll change that for Misty Step. So that I can have both the sorcery version of it and don't need to spend Warlock spell points on it if I don't want to. spell do I want? Unfortunately, it seems that Sorcerer can't get Animate Undead. Otherwise, I would get that so that we could have more skeletons. That's not Cloud Kill, it's Stinking Cloud. I believe Cloud Kill is level 4. Also, I've seen no reason whatsoever to stop the Darkness Cheese. There've been more than enough enemies that don't have Devil Sight or Blindness immunity in general. I just wish everything wasn't concentration. If so many spells weren't concentration, this would be much easier to decide. Concentration is everything in this game. Yay! How'd the Winged Ghoul fare? It was okay. I feel like the enemies we were against weren't really very susceptible to getting paralyzed at all. Because our big enemy was a paladin, so he's super difficult to hit any debuffs on. You know what? I guess I'll just take slow. It's a good debuff if you can get it off. If I'm not doing darkness because enemies can see through darkness, then slow is a perfectly fine debuff to throw down instead. It's either slow or haste. Man, haste is so fucking nerfed in 5e. It's so much worse. Could always twin spell haste and get a couple of people hasted. I will take slow for now.
Wits and blades, always sharp.
Alright, Shadowheart. Luckily for us, you continue to be very easy to level up. Cleric, go burr. Alright. What do we got? Some level 5 spell slot unlock. Divine Intervention. You can cast that to invoke your god's aid. Once used, this can never be used again. Call upon your deity in your moment of greatest need. Once they interfere, your deity will never do so again. Never? Never? Come on. Come on, man. Put it on long rest. Gain a cantrip. Thaumaturgy, light, and produce flame are our choices. I guess we can grab light. None of them are particularly amazing. We gained a level 5 spell slot. It gave us Speak with Dead. Let's get that out of there, because I don't need Speak with Dead on anyone. Don't really care about these spells, honestly. Even Planar Binding, who cares that much? We got some low-level spells that would be nice to get. Some of these low-level spells aren't too bad. Protection from energy, maybe? But that's also concentration. It's all concentration. Haste was group-wide in older versions of D&D. Like, 3rd edition. Haste was, group-wide. Like, for example, Pathfinder, which is based off of 3.5E, Haste is group-wide. I just wish with every fiber of my being there weren't literally 20 concentration spells out of like 30 spell choices. I guess I'll take Remove Curse. Maybe that's helpful. Sure.
Defender of the people.
Freya Mater fixes it? Well, certainly some of the spells that have concentration on them really shouldn't. Some of the spells that have concentration are, like, not that strong in the first place, and they just have concentration for no good reason. Some of them I can understand. Some of them are quite strong, and I can understand wanting to pick between that one's good, or that one's good, or that one's good, but it's just 5th edition as a whole added way too many spells under concentration in order to nerf spellcasters and make marshals feel a little better, which is fine and all, but the problem is that they removed so many other features and stuff, specifically feats, that marshals no longer really feel all that great. Choose a damage type and become resistant to it. You can pick a new damage type each short rest. You can only have one resistance at a time. But hey, that's nice. Fiendish Resilience is nice to have. New cantrip. Bone Chill, Friends, Minor Illusion, Poison Spray, True Strike. I guess Bone Chill? Solid against undead and everything. Sure. New spell! What should we give you? Since it's a warlock spell slot, gotta make sure it's a really good spell. Bone Chill is handy? Can be, yes. Most definitely. Honestly, out of these choices, I like the Wall of Fire the most. We've used it a couple times, and it's pretty solid. And I don't think I'm going to change anything out. And finally, Gale. Level 10 Wizard. Evocation Wizard, too. Level 5 spell slot. Empowered Evocation. Your grasp of Evocation Masters has tightened, and you can add your Intelligence mod to damage rolls with any evocation spells. So now those machine gun fires will do even more damage. Gain a cantrip and 2 more spells. Cantrip. How about Shocking Grasp? Spells. This is Cloud Kill. Cloud Kill's level 5 even. I thought it was level 4. So the thing is, like, we look at all these spells that are available to your spellcasters, right? And I'll go over these, like, one at a time, and I'll tell you which ones are actually that pretty good, and which ones just kind of suck, right? They're very, very utility-based, I guess. Anything that Gale already has on him is good, because I put it on him. Like, shield is good. A nice reaction, increase AC by 5 or more if you want to upscale it. Shield's great. Ray of Sickness is garbage. Protection from Evil and Good is pretty meh because it's concentration. Magic Missile's fine because Magic Missile, you can upscale it nicely. Long Strider is good because it's actually Ritual Cast, so you can cast it without expending a spell slot if you cast it outside of battle. If it wasn't Ritual, it would be garbage. Enhanced Leap, kind of a utility that's not amazing. Ice Knife is very meh. It's one of your better level 1 damage dealing spells though, so early game it's good and then falls off pretty hard. Featherfall, good utility, but that's it. False Life, pretty meh. Expeditious Retreat, meh. Disguise Self, meh. Color Spray, good early game, bad afterwards. Charm Person, meh. Charm Person, meh, specifically because the target might accuse you of enchanting them. The target knows when they get charmed, usually. So, yeah. Burning Hands, solid for early game, but it's got a really, really short range. Like, you have to be kissing the enemies to really hit them, which you don't want to do as a wizard. A little better on Sorcerer because you're a little beefier. Web, terrible in 5e because it's concentration. So it's pretty garbage. Shatter, meh. See Invisibility, good for when you know you're going to face invisibility. In fact, might want to get that myself even. This is a possibility. Ray of Enfeeblement, not very good. It's concentration, first off. Second off, it no longer actually removes stats or levels or anything. It just makes them deal half damage if they use strength as their weapon attack. And if they don't, then it's literally worthless. Literally worthless. Yeah, if See Invisibility wasn't only self-cast and I could cast it on allies, then I would have taken it a long time ago. That's the problem. Phantasmal Force is okay. It's just really unfortunate that it's, again, concentration on top of a save. So if you somehow get past their save, then if you just take a tap on the forehead, on the head, then you might just have the spell be gone. I don't know why this one is concentration, since it can be saved, for example. Melf's Acid Arrow. This one's pretty solid because even if you miss, you deal half damage and leave a puddle of acid on them, so you can deal extra. So that's pretty okay. Magic Weapon. The weapon becomes magical, receives a +1 to attack and damage rolls, but it is concentration again. It lasts until a long rest, but it's concentration. Ha 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 ha. So it's not very good. Knock. I mean, if you have trouble lockpicking, this is good, but if you have anyone on your team that can lockpick, Knock is kind of worthless. Invisibility. Concentration. Not even good concentration. Invisibility's not good. Hold Person. Saving throw plus concentration. It is saving throw every turn plus concentration as well. Now, the reason Hold Person is one that I've taken on other characters is because of this little thing where it says attacks from within 3 meters are always critical hits. If not for that, I would never even try to Hold Person. That being said, you gotta have a pretty high spell DC for this to be worth it. Gust of wind. The fact that it can hit multiple enemies is okay, so it can knock multiple enemies off balance. But it only lasts one turn is the real problem. If it lasted a little longer, if it lasted even just 2 turns, this would be much better. Enlarge and reduce, this one's okay. It's just concentration again is the problem. That's the real big problem to it. Otherwise, it would be good. Detect thoughts. It's a utility spell. You use it for talking to people. Otherwise, you don't care about it. Also, concentration. Dark vision. I think dark vision's worthless. And the reason is because dark vision wouldn't let you see through magical darkness. So, what do I care, right? Also, like, half the races you can start with have dark vision as a base. So just don't be a human. Then you don't need dark vision. Congratulations, you did it. Or be a warlock and get devil's sight. You know, there's a million reasons not to have dark vision. Darkness, magical darkness. If you have a way to see through it yourself, it's really good. And if dark vision let you see through darkness, then you'd have a little bit of a combo. But because dark vision doesn't let you see through darkness, it's garbage. Dark vision should be upgraded to devil's vision instead. So you can at least see through the magical darkness. Maybe even put it as a tier 3 spell or something. Anyway, darkness is pretty solid. But only if you have at least one ally who can see through it and make use of it really well. That's why it's better put onto someone like a warlock that gets devil vision and then you just stand in it and laugh. Crown of Madness, I think, is not very good. Because it only works on humanoids. If it worked on any enemy, I'd think about it much more. Or let dark vision be upcast for magical darkness vision. Yeah, see, that would work too. Cloud of Daggers, this is actually pretty good. We tried it once or twice. It's pretty solid. It's another concentration spell, but it gives you some area control. And if you can keep enemies in it, that's a pretty solid amount of damage constantly. It's good for early game. And that's it, just early game. Blur is concentration. It gives you... It forces enemies to have disadvantage on attack rolls against you, but if they do happen to hit you, then that's unfortunate. And it doesn't affect creatures that don't rely on sight or can see through illusions. So, it's already got a natural counter on top of the concentration counter. Still very good early game, though. Blur is definitely something good early game. That being said, this not being castable on allies and only castable on yourself is unfortunate because you don't want your wizard in a position where they can get attacked anyway. Blindness is solid if you can get it. Blindness is always good, but this is a single target blindness as opposed to an AoE blindness with darkness or fog cloud, right? Arcane Lock can only be opened with knock. Yeah, there's your one reason for knock to exist if you find an arcane lock. In which case, just use a scroll. Vampiric Touch, terrible on a wizard. You don't want to be close to people. Not only that, it's fucking concentration. The concentration is you can use Vampiric Touch again without using spell slots, but still, you don't want to... Terrible for a wizard. Stinking Cloud. This is actually pretty solid because prevent enemies from taking actions in it, but I believe anything that's immune to poison ignores it. So, and we've been facing a lot of immune to poison stuff, so you know. Sleet Storm. This is concentration, and it's anti-concentration for enemy spellcasters. This is your fuck that group of spellcasters over there spell. It's literally that. It is literally to fuck a group of enemy spellcasters. It does create an ice surface, so if they have bad dex checks, you can use this on other enemies too, but it's mostly for preventing spells. Remove curse, that's more of a cleric thing, but yeah, it's solid. Protection from energy, it's another concentration. It's okay because you gain resistance to whatever thing, but it's single target. This also used to be an AoE spell. So, because this is no longer AoE, this is no longer worth taking. Because it's single target. And here's the thing, if you put enough defenses on one unit, then the enemy's just going to ignore that fucking unit and attack something else. Yeah, so protection from energy, not very good. Lightning bolt, that's solid, just straight up line of lightning. Zap. You got to make sure your allies aren't in the way, but still good. Hypnotic pattern, this is actually pretty good. Just because you can completely prevent a group of enemies from acting, or at least some members of that group of enemies. So that's not bad at all. Yeah, warding bond is better protection from energy. Hypnotic Pattern's one of your better AoE lockdowns. It's a massive AoE. That's what makes it really good. Glyph of Warding is actually solid because you can throw Glyph of Warding pretty far, just right under enemies, and cause them to explode. I might actually take this. Gaseous Form is only really good for going through small openings, really. I guess you could use it as a pseudo way to save someone. To prevent them from taking damage. Flight is good. Being able to fly is good. It's only single target, so only the one ally gets to go places, but flight's still solid. Feign Death. Yeah. No. Fear. Only lasts 2 turns, unfortunately, but, does it make them lose their weapon? Or is that the next tier of fear? This isn't the one that makes them drop their weapon, I think. So, this is okay for the time you get it, but doesn't... 2 turns in his concentration, yes. Basically, this forces enemies to stop fighting and run away from wherever you put the fear illusion, which is nice in and of itself. But the next tier of fear, which I don't know if is available in this game, makes enemies also just lose their weapons and everything. And that is insanely good. Blink. At the end of your turn, roll a d20 on 11 or higher. You vanish into the ethereal plane. While there, you can't be harmed or seen in this world. When you do vanish, your presence here is a representation of the location you'll come back to. You can choose to teleport it up to 6 meters. For 10 turns. Up to 10 turns. Right. This is your... This is an oh shit button you can choose. Sort of like Dimension Door. It's a way to get you out of bad situations. Now, unlike Dimension Door, which you can just use, Blink has to succeed a roll, so it's not nearly as good. So I don't think it's very good in 5e. Bestow Curse, meh. Because it's melee range. Stone Skin. Takes half damage of all non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage. Boy, that got nerfed from older versions, that's for sure. It's also concentration, of course it is. I mean, it helps someone tank up, that's for sure. It's okay. It's not amazing. Polymorph. Turn a creature into a harmless sheep. If the sheep's hit points drop to 0, the target reverts to original form with its original hit points. Which means all this really does is lets you have up to 5 turns of setup on the creature or removing it from a fight for 5 turns. In which case, you know, if it's humanoid, hold person is just better. It's the same wisdom save, the same DC. It's like hold person, but you can use it on non-humanoids at the cost of a tier 4 spell. Phantasmal Killer. Haunt a creature with illusions of its great fear. Takes 4 to 40 psychic damage per turn. Can no longer move. And will be easier to hit. This is actually good if you can get it off. A really good single target lockdown. It's just, you really need that saving DC to go high. Really high. Yeah, this is better hold person. In fact, why ever take Polymorph when Phantasmal Killer is better in every way? Because it does damage and prevents them from moving and makes them easier to hit. And lasts 10 turns instead of 5. Anybody in the class want to give a reason? Anyone? Yeah, I don't know. Otiluk's Resilient Sphere. Oh yes, block all incoming and outgoing damage. A save button. In case something is psychic immune. Honestly, even if they're psychic immune, just the lockdown part of this is still worth it. Greater invisibility. Hey, there you go. You can use it on allies and stuff. Breaks when you fail increasingly harder stealth checks on attacking, casting spells, or interacting with items. But still, you can make attacks while invisible and stuff like that. Greater invisibility is actually pretty good. Sure, Phantasmal Killer doesn't prevent them from attacking, but again, polymorph. If you kill them in if you kill their polymorph form, then they come back in their normal form, and they haven't lost any health. It's just not good. It's just really not good. It's just lockdown for 5 turns, basically. Fire Shield. It's meh because you can only use it on yourself. If you could use it on an ally, I'd actually like it. Because the retaliate against melee attacks would be great for a frontliner. Terrible for a wizard, though. Not even very good for, like, a sorcerer who can be a bit tankier. Ivard's Black Tentacles, it's okay, it's nothing special. Dimension Door is actually good because it's an oh shit button that you can use for you in an ally. Or just a better positioning button. But if you have Misty Step for yourself, then you don't need Dimension Door, because Misty Step is lower cost and a bonus action. Dimension Door is much more for being able to save an ally on top of it. I actually don't know what size the AoE of Confusion is. The range is 18 meters, but the radius it doesn't say, unfortunately. So Confusion might be good, depending on how big the radius is. Blight's alright. 8d8 necrotic damage is pretty solid. Anything that's not undead will not have resistance to necrotic or constructs. And, it's just a lot of damage. A lot of good single target damage. It's okay. Banishment is yet another lockdown for a couple of turns. It's like Polymorph. Only it's a charisma save instead of a wisdom save. That's its big difference. It's supposed to have 6 meter radius on Confusion. That's kind of small then. Wall of Stone. This is good for splitting a fight if you want to. But otherwise, Wall of Fire is just better. Sure, they can run through Wall of Fire, but in this game, enemy AI is not going to run through Wall of Fire. You tried Wall of Stone, the walls are too easy to break? Oh, never mind then. If the walls are that easy to break, they don't even have sturdy? Wow. Wow. Never mind, I guess it's garbage. Seeming, disguise your party. Very meh. You only really need one person to be disguised. Planar binding. This one's okay. Mostly because if you have, like, multiple fiends, celestials, elemental, fae, whatever, showing up, being able to say that one is on our side now can work pretty well. Hold monster. Paralyze a creature. Can't move, act, or react. Attacks are always critical hits. Boy, where have I heard that before? Oh, right. Hold person. Only this is This is level 5 if you want to use it on a monster instead of a person. Yeah. Again, it's an okay effect. It's just really unfortunate how expensive it is. Dominate person. It's like planar binding, but with weaker allies, unless it's a really strong humanoid. Cone of Cold. This is solid damage, 8d8 in a cone, so it's not the single target of necromancy. And it's actually got pretty solid range if it's 9 meters. That's not bad, actually. And then Cloud Kill, which personally I'm not a big fan of because it's poison damage. And there are so many things that we keep facing that are immune to poison. As for what I've been using for concentration, Wall of Fire is one of the good ones that I've been using for Gale's concentration. Alternatively, Haste once in a while. The Flaming Sphere has been great for the early game, but it's really losing its touch now. Flaming Sphere might be something I replace now. Telekinesis is what I'm adding. Telekinesis is good. In fact, that's one of the better concentrations you can have, period. Slow, which is, you know, enemy get slowed is nice. All right, so I think I'll take maybe Glyph of Warding and Cone of Cold. Sure. Now, Flaming Sphere we can get rid of. It's done its work. It did a good job for a while. I'll throw Glyph of Warding in, I think. Yeah, early game Flaming Sphere is actually really good because it emits a bright light, so anything that's got like dark vision or anything like that gets eyes go hurty. It lasts 10 turns. It has an immolation aura around it that lights enemies on fire while they're near it. And it's another body to soak damage. At this point in time, though, Flaming Sphere has kind of fallen off. Its purpose has been fulfilled. We have other summons to work with instead. And other concentrations, like Telekinesis. This is actually a really good one. Throw a creature or object up to 18 meters with a thought. Once per turn, you can use Telekinesis again without expending a spell slot, as long as you have concentration. Heavier items deal more damage. Hey, remember in the early game when we were just yeeting things with Eldritch Blast in order to knock them off ledges and stuff and deal fall damage? Telekinesis does it, but way stronger. On top of that, if you have anything really heavy, this was a cheesy thing you could do in Divinity Original Sin 2. You take a chest around with you or something. You fill it with the heaviest shit you can find, and then you just telekinesis whip it into enemies to deal like 400 damage. I'm assuming they probably nerfed that kind of thing in this game, because of how hilariously OP it was in Divinity Original Sin 2. But it was hilariously OP, and I loved it. There was nothing funnier than whipping a 7,000-pound chest into an enemy and watching them explode into gush, into goo. Oh, hey. I should go check if that Mind Flare had anything on it. Cloud Giant Finger. Okay. Alright, portal to the surface.
I've been thinking on all that you learned below. If you've got your breath, we ought to discuss our next steps.
So yeah, there's like a quick little primer. Oh, I guess Moonrise Towers is a new like base we can work with. Anyway, there's a quick little primer for you guys on what spells I think
It's been a long day.
are okay and which
Better
ones
stop
suck.
to rest soon.
Literally everything I have on Gale is good. You can trust me on that. We look at his spell book. Mage Armor's good. Find Familiar's good. Misty Step. Scorching Ray. Scorching Ray, honestly, early game, not the best. Early game, not the best. But once you get to upcast this onto, like, level 4 spell slots and stuff, then it becomes the machine gun you saw earlier, and it's really nice. Fireball, I don't need to explain. Haste, I'm honestly not in love with. It's good to throw onto like your fighter or your barbarian for a fight, but it only lasts for the one fight. It only lasts on the one person. Its concentration feels kind of bad. Counterspell's really good. Slow is really good because it has a lot of targets you can hit, 6 enemies. Animate Dead lets you make skeletons. Who doesn't love skeletons? Glyph of Warding's actually solid since I tried it. It's got 9 meters. It's got a pretty large AoE. You can just toss the glyph out and let it go kaboom on enemies. Wall of Fire really controls enemy AI. They don't want to walk into it, so you can force them into going bad paths. Conjure Minor Elemental. The Minor Elementals are all solid. All 3 of them are good summons. Conjure Elemental. The Fire Elemental's the best. The Earth Elemental is probably the worst. The Fire Elemental is easily the best. And Telekinesis, I explained. As for early game stuff, Grease, to just knock enemies prone. Sleep is probably your best lockdown at level 1. Thunderwave to push enemies away and off things. Fog Cloud to obscure and prevent magic attacks. I don't know why I have Witch Bolt. I think I might have learned that from a scroll once or something. I think Witch Bolt sucks, honestly. Chromatic Orb. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is just not as good as Sleep, honestly, for level 1. And I guess the only other thing I could point out is Mirror Image is good at level 2. Just for keeping yourself safe. Not as good as Misty Step, though. Misty Step, way better. Okay. Let's talk to the people.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
I can't help but feel like I've been fumbling in the dark for too long, and I've just had a lit torch thrust into my hands.
I'll thrust something into you. I mean, what? What are you talking about, Gale? Give him a chance. Gale, what you talking about?
The crown! The one the Elder Brain was wearing. Netherese magic. So pure, so complete, that I didn't even recognize it at first. Most Netherese artifacts contain only the faintest amount of their former power. The ghost of an echo of a memory. That crown was different. I can't fathom how such a wonder survived. Surely everything of its ilk was destroyed along with Netheril itself, but no matter. It exists. I must learn more of it.
Now, Gale, isn't this how you got in trouble in the first place? Because you had a huge boner over Netherese stuff? I guess, to be fair, Gale is a wizard. Wizards are all the fuck around and find out type, aren't they? Now, why is this crown so important all of a sudden? Probably because he thinks it can help remove the orb from his body.
That crown sits on a gargantuan elder brain bent on destroying us and everything we hold dear. Understanding its true nature might unlock the means of our victory.
Oh,
We need
also
to
that.
learn more about what we saw. An artifact as powerful as that crown must have been documented somewhere. As luck would have it, we'll soon find ourselves near one of the finest book collections this side of Candlekeep. Sorcerer's Sundries.
Yay!
I need to go there and learn all I can.
Now, why would a Baldurian magic shop be the first place we look?
Ha! Sorcerer's Sundries is no mere trading post. It's been serving the arcane community for centuries.
This is true.
Their collection of rare tomes is unparalleled. Netherese texts are hardly commonplace, but I'm certain they'll have one or two stashed away.
Listen to this fucking
You'll have to
nerd.
forgive my eagerness, but if my suspicions prove to hold water, this could be the answer to all our problems.
If we changed Gale's outfit a little bit and had him talking about anime waifu figurines instead, it would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Will, what have you to say?
Gods be damned. With that parasite in his brain, Father could wreak untold havoc in the Absolute's name. Should Baldur's Gate fall to the Absolute, every one of the coast cities will be ripe for the plucking. We're not just fighting for our cure, we're fighting for my father. We're fighting for the Gate. We're fighting for all of Faerun.
The Absolute's cult has Ravengard. Where are they going to take him?
Worm's Rock Fortress. All travelers to Baldur's Gate flow through it. It serves as headquarters for the Flaming Fist and their commander, my father. The Absolute's army's on the march. Gods forbid a tadpole Grand Duke throw open the gates for them.
What do you know about Gortash and Orin?
Orin? I'd never heard tell of. But Gortash I know. Or know of, more precisely. A self-styled strategic advisor to Baldur's Gate's peers. A bit player with dreams of a leading role, the way Father told it. He had no use for Gortash, and even less for his advice. I don't remember much beyond that. But where these Chosen are concerned, I have a suspicion we're about to know more than we'd like.
My character looks like vampire nobility. See, I thought he looked like an 80s hair metal band member with this outfit on. Mizra said that you can say what led to your pact in exile. Tell me.
Yes, but first, a question. If your home were under siege, what would you sacrifice to save it?
Well, we're a good boy. I'd give up my life if it meant keeping the residents safe.
As would I. And more. I was 17. Father, older Ravengard, had just been named a Grand Duke and was called away to Elturel to help settle a dispute. That's when the Cult of the Dragon made its move.
The Cult of the Dragon, a fractured religion. Some believers hold that undead dragons will inherit the world. Others worship the dragon goddess Tiamat and intend to summon her to Faerun.
That would be really bad. Summoning Tiamat would be really bad. I wouldn't give up my soul, says the Warlock. Hey, we don't know what's in my contract. I might not have sold my soul. Oh man, there's a lighting bug going on where you can see where the head is stitched to the body model of my character. Oh no. Don't look at it. Don't look at it, chat. Alright, continue the story.
A 10-day after Father left, I heard a whisper as I slept. Duskhawk Hill. The Queen of Chaos awakens. Go alone. I grabbed a rapier and set out. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, yet not a single star was shining. There they were, gathered at the foot of the hill.
Your head tingles. Will wants to show you what happened.
Alright, go ahead, show me.
In the looming shadow of the mount, 5 groups of 5 figures each encircle a lofty totem. Atop each totem, a dragon's head is carved, and a massive orb held in its mouth. The cultists chant, first softly, then crying to the starless sky. There is a crack of thunder, a gust of wind, and a dragon's white head appears in the storm. The first of Tiamat's 5 heads.
That's extremely bad.
Mizora's lips press to your ear. She will destroy Baldur's Gate. Grant me your soul, and I will give you the power to save it, she whispers.
She read the terms while 2 devils stood witness, and I said yes. 1 soul for 1 city.
Honestly, no, he made the right choice. No, that's not 1 soul for 1 city. Tiamat gets summoned, the world is in peril. Surely Mizora doesn't care about Baldur's Gate. Why would she want to save it?
She didn't. She came on order of her mistress, Zariel. Tiamat made a play for power. Zariel had other plans. That was the most Mizora's ever said. All that mattered was that she got her prize. Another pet added to her warlock menagerie.
Fair enough. Sacrificing yourself to save the city was a brave thing to do.
I don't know that it was brave. I just know that it was right. The moment I agreed, I burned with the fires of Avernus and oozed the rot of Dis. The cultists choked on our poisons and burned from our flames. And when we were done, all that remained were 5 grayed orbs atop a pile of ash. My soul was bound, and my lips were sealed.
Is that how you lost your eye in the battle with the Cult of the Dragon?
It is. The one scar I ever bore of it. You were right, of course. The new eye is a sending stone, courtesy of Mizora. She uses it to track my location and call from a distance. I could flee to the spine of the world, or the depths of the lower dark, and still never shake her.
It was brave what you did for the city, though.
I don't know that it was brave. I just know that it was right.
And what about your father, the Grand Duke?
He returned to an unsuspecting city and a wayward son with a smirking devil at his side. I tried to tell him the truth, but my mouth couldn't form the words. I'd led him to the battlefield, but Mizora had swept it clean. I showed him my stone eye, but he only turned away. After, he said only one word. Go. So I did.
I guess we'll return to this subject later.
I understand.
Will, why are you looking up? What's on the ceiling? Must have been not too happy with your pops for throwing you out of the city.
No, never. He did the only thing he could. In his eyes, I invited a devil into our midst. I was a fool at best, a traitor at worst, and Grand Duke Ravengard suffers neither.
Do you miss your dad?
More than you know. The better question is, did he ever miss me? If he did, he missed the Will Ravengard he once knew, not the hell-touched warlock he returned to.
I might be able to fix that visual bug we're getting. I think it's from the armor. So if we toggle it, maybe that'll fix the lighting bug.
Beyond the horizon.
The shadows are losing their grip on these lands. Shah can indeed be thwarted. Comforting to know.
Okay. I don't think she has anything else to say at the moment. Look, guys, it's just a flying ghoul and a fiend and some imps and some elementals and some undead and a shadow monster and some mephits. It's and a brain.
Our time is precious.
We need to find a way forward.
It's nothing to be scared of, guys.
Aelin! Isabel! My love. You were dead. I saw your body. I'm here. And so are you. And my father, he can't hurt us any longer.
You know, I thought that was just a
I dreamt
coincidence on the
every
name
night
there.
that you'd come back to me. That somehow it was all a nightmare Dawn would undo. I had no dreams at all. Nothing but darkness. And when I woke, my father said you were dead. His soul was poisoned by the god of death. His sick devotion ruined him. But for all his sins, he brought you back to me. Are you all right? I will be. And you? In this moment, I want for nothing.
What good friends they are.
Ah, there you are. This is Aelin. Aelin, this is... Oh, but we have met. This is the soldier that freed me most valiantly from the Shadowfell. They watched my boot crush the very brain of villainy, and fought well against your changed father. May he rest in peace at last, now that he's dead. I have more to thank you for than I knew. And we have much to discuss. Perhaps we could join you in your camp later?
Did I hear you correctly? Are you Ketheric Thorn's daughter?
I am. And I'm glad he's dead. But this is precisely what I want to speak to you about later. It'll keep. I promise.
All right, see you at camp.
Very good. We look forward to it. Now, you will leave us. We must take succor in one another's bodies and words. Aelin! We'll see you later.
Now leave us, we're gonna fuck. I guess it's a good thing I made sure to keep her alive then. Because boy, was she close to dying.
My faith will guide me.
What will we do once we reach the city? No. One problem at a time.
Chat, do you also make out violently with your friends when you see them? I'm sure you do. Hi, Halsin.
Thaniel rests well. He's healing very rapidly, now that Oliver has returned to him.
What happened to Oliver exactly? Did Thaniel absorb him or something?
No more than my right hand can absorb my left. Oliver is helping Thaniel to recover. They both lie dormant, like trees awaiting spring. Once the curse is lifted, they can stand as one or as a pair. Whatever they wish, I hope they will remain as a pair. It will be good for them both to have a friend once I'm gone. Still, I would like to return here someday. See Thaniel and Oliver again. In my meditations, or perhaps in person, if the Oak Father wills it. I hope he does.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
I knew I could put my faith in you. If only we had met sooner.
So, when will the curse actually be lifted?
I can't say for certain, but we'll see it come to pass long before this place recedes behind us. Don't worry. All is at hand. We can depart whenever you're ready.
Cool. So what now? You got what you wanted after all.
I have. But perhaps there is more that I want. Anyway, once the curse is lifted, nature can take its course without me. I belong at your side.
Happy to have you.
And I'm glad to be had. Glad to be with you, I mean. Seems your ranks are quite packed.
Glad to be had. Halsin wants to get fucked, doesn't he? Everybody's so horny right now, jeez. Also, I kind of wish that this talking with everyone scene was taking place in a different area, because this is trying to render all the many bodies we've left behind and all the info from that, and it's making the game laggy.
Path lies before me.
Hi, Art.
When Duke Elton formed the Flaming Fist, he sought out people of
God, you're
courage
still
and
so
honor
sweaty.
to fill its ranks. You saved Daniel, lifted the curse, and killed an immortal. It's safe to say you'd have been recruited in an instant.
Since I'm from Baldur's Gate, I grew up hearing stories of Duke Elton. I'm curious about what he was like.
Gruff and intimidating. But he had the courage of 10 men, and the love for Baldur's Gate few could match. I don't know if this Duke Ravengard is the same, but I will say this. The Flaming Fist are the cornerstone of the city, and the Dukes are its foundation. I hope you can save him, for the good of Baldur's Gate.
And what about you?
When this land fell to the curse, I should have gone with it. Thaniel is the only reason I survived. It's only fair I stay here and wait for him to awaken.
And after he awakens?
I don't think there will be an after. The truth is, the Shadowfell broke something inside me. Something no healer can fix. I don't know how long I have, but because of you, Thaniel is safe. Because of you, I could help him as he helped me. So, thank you, my friend. And know that I have no regrets.
I wish you the best, Art. Morning, Sagas. Now, Withers coming out to talk is very rare. We'll talk with Jaheira first, though.
Our enemies spread like rub rot. Treat one patch, and two more bloom in its place. An elder brain, bound by lost Netherese magic, with servants of the Dead Three holding the chain. Reminds me of old times.
Yeah, sounds about right for Baldur's Gate. Actually, if anything, this is small potatoes compared to what Baldur's Gate usually faces. This place is cursed. Also, Buggerdoll, how dare you say knife ears? My ears are as pointed as anyone else's. You almost seem like you're enjoying yourself, Jaheira.
Aren't you?
Having the time of my life.
It is good to savor the moment of victory. But pace yourself. Our fight is just beginning. When we met, I was licking my wounds. An old bear with her leg caught in the hunter's snare. Now I've slipped free of the trap and rediscovered my claws. It's time for me to hunt my prey. You have a nether stone, and you're on the scent of 2 more. These chosen have reason to fear you, and I would like to be at your side when you confront them.
Hell yeah! I'll be glad to have you on my side, Jaheira.
Glad to be there. Falling foul of Ketheric convinced me that my grand adventures were behind me. That even if I survived, I should hang up my blades. But you convinced me otherwise. We ventured into darkness together. Now we've come out the other side. I'd say I'm feeling a little refreshed. When we reach Baldur's Gate, there will be even darker paths to tread. I will follow you wherever they lead.
I'll see you at camp.
How does it compare to a shadow-cursed inn?
Probably a
With
bit
the
comfier.
Absolute's army gone, the Risen Road should be clear. We can follow it all the way to Baldur's Gate. There's a Harper's safe house in Worm's Crossing. Denthelin's Dancing Axe. We do well to check in with them before entering the city proper. Beyond that, our course is yours to set. I can recall how to take orders, as well as give them.
The High Harper journal update. New companion. Jaheira joined our party. We should head to Baldur's Gate to meet her contacts in the city. Yay! Again, reminder chat, Jaheira is a character from Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2. She was the druid companion for both of those games. And her alignment is pretty much true neutral. I guess neutral, leaning towards good. So it's cool for her to be a comeback character, and I think she's kind of the only character that could come back from the previous Baldur's Gates. Of 1 and 2. Yeah, probably. Also, she had a funny thing in Baldur's Gate 2 where she would say, where if you would select her for doing something, eventually one of the things she would say is something along the lines of, "Yes, O omnipresent and omniscient force that guides my hand." Not to talk to your main character, but instead to address the player themselves. So I hope she has something like that in this game too, for funsies. Alright, Withers, what the hell are you doing out here?
The shadows yet fester. The dead 3 united under cover of darkness. The balance shifts. There are depths to this alliance yet unplumbed. Consider, mortal. Do illithids possess souls?
Forget that. What are you doing here, Withers? I kind of really want to say that. Hey, Boshy Gamer. I'm going to make a quick save and say that and then go back and say what would be the smart thing to say.
Where matters of balance are concerned, I am eternally cold. I shall ask yet again, do illithids possess souls?
I'm not sure. Don't all living things possess souls?
No. Nor canst thou count mind flayers among them. Yet, the three amass an illithid army void of apostolic souls that could imbue them with power. A flock without souls, yet to what end, mortal? This is the question thou must come to answer. Until such time, be availed of my services.
You seem to know a lot about the Dead Three.
Yes, Bane, Lord of Darkness, Baal, Lord of Murder, Merkel, Lord of Bones. Once judged, ascended, then vanquished, as one, and as three. The alliance is reforged, mortal. The plains thus quake, and the gods shudder.
Isn't there any more you can tell me?
No.
I like that response. Thanks, Withers. Thanks, bro. Okay, is there anyone else to talk to? Can I not talk to Isabel? I guess not. I think she's supposed to be leaving to go have hot sex with Aelin. But scared of the monsters. Scared of the monsters. Hello, children. Let's go talk to you.
Althera's writing us a song. A stupid song won't bring Mole back. Tell her, won't you?
Whoa, where'd the other kid go? They ran upstairs. Stop running from me! Get back here and talk to me! Talk to me, damn it!
You're here. Good. That's good.
You alright?
Me? Oh, I'm fine. I'm just worried about the kids. Maul is still missing, and they haven't taken it too well. I've been trying to cheer them up. We're writing a song together. But I think they're just humoring me.
Bard mom not doing a very good job here. I'm sure they appreciate it.
Maybe. I'd love to put on a show just for them. But it's boring if I'm the only one playing. I need another bard. Maybe I'll find one in the city. Until then, the kids and I shall work on our masterpiece.
Sorry, I'm not a bard and can't help. Oh my gosh, will you people calm down about my summons? Jeez, just chill. We can play a spider loot, sort of. Okay.
Ready enough?
Gods, I can't wait to be back home. Safe return to the city. We'll see you there, Helmling.
We need to get back to the city before those monsters do. Baldur's Gate is my home. I have to protect it.
Have to protect it.
We leave the heart of the Absolute alive. Thanks to you. You did well to defeat Ketheric. But Ketheric was only the first to fall. There are many more battles ahead, and they will not be so easily won. You will need allies.
Do you not see my allies? I already have allies.
You have the makings of a leader. Your actions have already inspired those around you. Jaheira's wisdom will be an asset to you on the journey ahead. Her harpers, too. Halsin's strength and loyalty will bolster you in times of need. But if we are to succeed, we will need others.
Then I will build an army to rival that of the Absolute.
Baldur's Gate may not know it yet, but its fate is bound to ours. Seek on its streets those whose purpose aligns with our own, and invite them to our cause. Together, we will put an end to the Absolute, the Chosen, all.
And back on. There we go. Maybe that'll fix the... Nope. I guess that lighting bug's just gonna keep going forever. Well, the lighting bug. Go on, fine, I'll get out of here. I'm taking my small army with me.
The road to Baldur's Gate is west of the town. If we hurry, we'll arrive before the Absolute's forces.
I mean, we can just teleport there.
Free of Shah. I hope I can say the same of myself. Soon enough.
I guess anyone that was at the last light in has pieced out of it by now. The Absolute's army is gone. No longer are they there. We can finally make our way on the road to Baldur's Gate. Yeah, they're not saying get out of here to me or my friends. It's just they're saying it to the creatures. They're scared because there's a fiend here and a ghoul and skeletons and elementals. And it's like, guys, come on. I'm controlling them fine. Why are you so scared? Make sure to tie up any loose ends before advancing. I think I've tied them up. Gather your allies. Get Orin's Netherstone. Get Gortash's Netherstone. Rescue the Grand Duke, who's been infected. Find the Night Song. Decide to camp with us. We should see what the wizard Lorokan wants with her. Find Mole. We defeated Ketheric and watched a fleet of Nautiloids leave for Baldur's Gate. If Mole doesn't turn up in Moonrise Tower, she may have escaped on one of them and made it to the city. I'll say this, if Mole made it to the city, she is incredibly resourceful. Well done if she did. Still need to unlock this ancient tome. Maybe sorceries and sundries can help. Found the heart of the Absolute in the bowels of the Moonrise Towers, a powerful elder brain controlled by a Netherese crown of incredible power. Gale was convinced he shouldn't detonate the orb. In fact, he seemed more interested in the crown the brain was wearing. We have defeated Ketheric Thorm. The gem we found in his body is a Netherstone, one of 3 used to control the elder brain. Orin and Gortash carry the other 2. If we want to cure ourselves and save the Sword Coast, we'll have to hunt the pair through Baldur's Gate and claim each of the Netherstones in turn. There's a far greater plot than we had imagined, one spearheaded by the Chosen of the Dead 3 and involving an elder brain. We must overcome this greater evil if we wish to heal ourselves once and for all. But do we want to heal ourselves? So far, the Illithid powers have been pretty rad for us. Let's talk to our other allies we haven't talked to. Hi, Asterion.
I never saw myself as a banisher of shadows before. I was always more of a lurker in, historically.
Fair enough.
I think we've done rather a good thing here. A welcome change to give this land a sliver of hope amongst so much despair.
Yes.
Oh, okay. She's still working on stuff. Hey, Karlak, I got your hero to join us.
Wish we could stay and see what this place will be like without the shadows. I bet it's beautiful. No rest for the wicked, huh?
Tell me more about your relationship with Gortash.
He got his claws into me early. I was a wild kid, brawling my way through the city. One of my mates got wind of a bit of work guarding some indoorsy type with lots of enemies. Seemed like easy money, so I went in for it. He took one look at me and said I was perfect. I like that. Not like that, you know. Just... it felt like a good fit. I kept him safe, and he paid me well. Well enough to move my folks into a better neighborhood and put something away for the future. My future. I respected him, trusted him. And he returned that trust, that respect. His life was in my hands, and I took that seriously. The whole thing with Zariel happened so fast. I had no idea what had gone down until it was over. One minute I was in Baldur's Gate, a happy, healthy, not quite kid. The next, I was burning up in Avernus with an engine for a heart. Zariel laughed. Said she paid him well for my services. She'd wanted to test her new machine, and he said I'd be able to handle it. He was right. Sometimes I wish he weren't. Evil, evil bastard.
Damn. Poor Karlak.
The shadows are lifted. Finally, we can breathe free.
And you, Lizzo?
The curse is broken and the shadows are lifting. In time, these lands will heal.
There's Jaheira with Withers over there. There's Halsine with Aelin and Isabel. And Thaniel.
I swear, I can already feel a change in the air. Like the curse itself knows its time is short.
You did it. Catherick Thorm is no more. The Shadow's grip is broken. Soon, the land shall heal.
Glad to help.
Not as glad as I am. Nature moves at its own pace, and bestows its bounty when it sees fit. Give it time. A reward shall come to you when you need it most.
So when we have a big army versus army clash, out of nowhere, there's gonna be big-ass trees coming up to help us? Hell yeah, that sounds good. How you two doing?
I can't believe it. I can't believe Aelin is here. And my father. I heard what happened. What he'd become. By killing him. You set him free. You set Aelin free. And me.
You and Aelin seem to have a lot of history. What happened?
A great deal. But still, some of the details elude me. Ketheric Thorm was my father. He raised me to serve Selûne as my mother, rest her soul, had wished. He was everything to me, all my life. When an emissary of Selûne came to our little town, we were elated. Dame Aelin, daughter of the Moon Maiden herself. Tell me, do you believe in love at first sight?
Certainly.
That's exactly it. And I tell you, I took one look at her and I just knew. She was it. Lucky for me, she felt the same way. But my father was skeptical. Aelin is immortal, after all. I understand it's strange. There's an imbalance between us, certainly. But I suppose loving Aelin felt the same as loving myself. It was natural. Then... And this is where I still need answers. I died. I'm not sure how, why, but all was black. Next I knew, I was being jolted awake. I smelled musty air, I saw shadows. And then my father's face. So changed. So hideously warped.
He had become the chosen of Merkel.
I didn't know that then, but I could see the change in him. He told me we'd be together now. Said that Aelin was dead. I couldn't speak. Could only run. I found last light within the shadows. Made a shelter there. Prayed my father wouldn't find me. By the time Jaheira came, I'd pieced together just enough to know I'd been dead 100 years. That my father was the source of the horrors plaguing this land. My home. I couldn't tell her who I was. I had to protect them. And myself. No matter what.
Suppose that's understandable.
It's all out in the open now. And with my father dead, I have nothing to fear. Except for Aelin. She needs healing. Rest. I'm grateful for your help. Your friendship. I hope we won't intrude on your hospitality too long. But I'm grateful for a safe place to... well... just to be.
What do you know about me? You spoke of my past. Being chased by wolves. I told no one about that. Almost no one. But I certainly didn't share that with you.
There is nothing I can tell you that you do not already know yourself. They trained you well, trained you hard. Chiseled away any part of you that did not fit their plan. They made you forget.
I chose to do that. For the mission to protect Shaz...
Secrets. Yes, that is an old song, girl. Your goddess cares more for her precious secrets than she does her devotees.
Get to the point.
When you freed me, you severed a bond between me and that dog, Thorm. A bond of pain. His, inflicted on me. When I laid eyes on you, I sensed a similar bond. You, tethered to two others. Someplace distant.
Oh.
Let me help you remember.
You feel Shadowheart's mind tug at the edges of your own. You know this sensation. She wants you to see whatever is about to be revealed.
Open your mind.
Your mind joins with Shadowheart's. Something pulls at you both, bringing you elsewhere.
I assume that was her father.
You remember that it is a common rite among Seluna's followers to send their children off into the woods to find their way home. Perhaps this time it had gone awry. It seems that one child never came back. She was taken.
What? Who was that man?
You already know. Did you not see yourself in him? Do you not recognize your own blood?
My father. That was him.
That is him. He lives still. And your mother, too.
No. It can't be. I'm an orphan.
And who told you that? Your adoptive family? You are not to blame. You were young, impressionable. They took you because they wanted to break and remake you. But you are a child no longer. You are a woman. One who knows what must be done.
My parents. I need to save them.
Saved from what? I figured they'd be dead by now. Although she did say she was bound to 2 other people, and I'm assuming those 2 other people must be the parents. Alright, I'll help.
Your parents are with your abductors. You will need to return to their lair. But be warned. You may have once thought of them as comrades, mentors, friends, even lovers. They will all be enemies now. You have been forewarned for what is to come. But not yet forearmed.
The Spear of Night? Thought that was cast into the Shadowfell.
I was able to retrieve it before it sank too far into Shah's umbral domain. Shah is quick to discard whatever she has no use for. I think you know that well enough. But I felt it call to me as I took flight. Whatever Shah calls her own, Selûne has equal claim to. They are one and the same. Their power is matched and mirrored. Take it. You will find it useful. What you do with it, that will be up to you. Same as before.
I'll need every advantage, it seems. Thank you.
A debt repaid. You returned my life unto me. Now go and claim your own.
It hurts.
Shah torments you still. What a spiteful creature she is. This will not stop until you take action. See that your parents' sacrifices are not in vain. Allow the Moon Maiden to guide you at last.
Item received, Selûne's Spear of Night. Selûne's Blessing, gain advantage on wisdom and saving throws and perception checks. Dark Vision, you can see up in the dark. Gain the Moonbeam Evocation spell. It is a +3 legendary spear and Moon Mote as a class action. Maiming Strike, Rush Attack, Moon Mote. Illuminate the area around you with wisps of moonish light that make movement difficult for enemies and bolster your allies' damage. At the start of their turn, each hostile creature within the light must succeed a wisdom saving throw or they must treat the lighted area as difficult terrain. Each ally within the light deals an additional 1d4 radiant damage on a hit with melee attacks. It's also concentration. If it wasn't concentration, I'd say that's really good. Now that it's concentration, I say it's alright, I guess. If only it wasn't concentration. Every fucking thing is concentration, man. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay.
There you are. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. Come closer.
The happen summon elemental isn't. I know, I know. Look, I mentioned that in 5e summons are also concentration. What's up?
Feel my voice rattle your bones as I proclaim our victory. Moon Maiden Selûne,
Hear me. Ketheric Thorm, traitor, apostle of Merkel, is dead at last. My mate, most high. Darling Isabel is safe and well. Safe and well, and returned to my embrace. Blessings upon the slayer of the Wicked One.
Aelin is so intense. I mean, she is kind of a Valkyrie. Honestly, probably couldn't have done it without you. Thanks for leading the charge and breaking open the gates.
We are a powerful party indeed. Faerun itself trembles at our touch. My darling Isabel says we will stay allied at your side. I am pleased to hear it.
Oh shit, is she gonna join the party? Yeah, she's a demigod. There's still a great deal about you I don't know.
Pray, ask, and I will tell.
Are you really Seluna's daughter?
Do I not radiate with my mother's brightness, her glory? There can be no doubt. I am of her silvered flesh, her celestial womb.
Would your mother be willing to grant aid to us in the fight against the Dead Three?
Why, she already has. She has brought her sword to your side, Dame Aelin. So mighty are her wonders, her great wisdom. Together, we will set this fair land free of tyranny and murder.
Now, one thing I want to say about this. It's really cool to have her here. She was only level 8 when I inspected her. Let's chalk that up to her being weakened from being imprisoned for 100+ years and whatnot. How did you come to be trapped in the Shadowfell?
Ketheric Thorm, father of my one and only love, enslaver of Dame Aelin. Ketheric Thorm never did trust me, even when he worshipped the Moon Maiden. He was threatened by my love for Isabel, by her love for me. When she died, curse the day, the hour, we each of us mourned bitterly. But Ketheric's pain could be touched by no aid, no boundary. He turned to wretched Shah, the Lady of Loss, for relief. And she whispered into his ear, poisoning his mind. He and his loathsome advisor, Balthazar, lured me into the Shadowfell, claimed they'd found someone in need of my aid. There, they trapped me in their infernal cage. I was killed, murdered, made dead over and over and over by justiciars of every make and kind. I was reborn, for it is my nature. And Ketheric fed upon my immortality all the while. But lo, the brute is dead, and we live!
Well, I'm happy I could help. Volo, you got anything new to say?
Quite the cozy setup you have here.
Guess not. We live, chat! Shadowheart, anything new to say, yeah?
Why, hello, lover. That sounded more debonair in my head, I'll admit. Do you need something?
I want to talk about our relationship.
Of course.
How you doing?
Relieved? Terrified? Sick to my stomach? I can't keep my feelings straight ever since I spared Nightsong, defied Shah. I don't know what comes next. But at least I have you by my side.
Aww. Covered in blood? Well, the fights got a little intense earlier. We did fight the avatar of the Lord of Bones, so, you know. She gets to be a little bloody. She was on the front lines. She's the tank, after all. And thus, chat, I believe we have earned ourselves a good sleep. Let us bedge. Oh, all the summons exploded to death. Gale, my friend.
At least Shadowheart is armed with the truth now. May its keen edge draw forth whatever vengeance she desires.
Gale, my friend, why don't you hang out here
question
for
the
a
wisdom
bit?
of that decision, but I'll be here.
You've been in the party for quite some time. We'll give you a chance to rest. Will, the same goes to you. Y'all did well.
Taken from the light to be raised in darkness. Your truth is finally dawning, Shadowheart. You can follow its light, or you can retreat back into dusk. The truth is finally dawning. Shadowheart can follow its light, or she can retreat back into dusk. Are you sure? The blade stands at the... And just when things will...
Don't worry, we'll get you back eventually, Will. Karlak.
Poor Shadowheart. She's been jerked around so much. I want to believe the gods keep this world balanced, but sometimes I wonder.
Join me.
Aces.
Asterion.
So, it's a quest to free Shadowheart's parents, is it? And here I was, worried I'd be the only one with a difficult family reunion waiting in the city.
It's true. Join me.
Darling, I thought you'd never ask. Lead on.
We'll have to level them up. Shadowheart, how you doing?
I've been lied to. My whole life. And I was gullible enough to just believe it. My parents are alive, and I have to save them. I think a part of me always knew that. A part that Shah denied to me.
Whatever you must do, I'll be by your side.
Thank you. But I want you to refrain from foolish heroics. When the time comes, we'll be entering a nest of vipers. I couldn't bear to lose you. Not after everything. We'd better press on for now, and hope we're ready when the moment comes. But before that, there's one thing I need to see to.
What's that?
You'll see for yourself soon enough. Just leave it with me.
Okay, fair enough. I'm glad I took this route with Shadowheart to deny Shar. It was definitely the right choice. As we're rapidly learning.
Shadowheart was no true child of Shah, merely a captive. She must have her vengeance.
Hell yeah. Why are the portraits not working? Weird visual bugs. It's cause we've been running the game for about 8 straight hours probably now.
Should mind my step.
That's what I think. The other route is neat too. I'm sure it is, but vengeance for Shadowheart.
I swear, I can already feel a change in the air.
You got nothing to say about Shadowheart?
I swear.
Okay. My respec of her is also really fitting as a life cleric. Honestly, it would probably be fit more as a light cleric instead of life, considering Selûne is goddess of moonlight and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I just chose life cleric because trickery domain sucks, and I wanted a good dedicated healer. Life cleric's the best dedicated healer available in the game.
I would not linger in this land over long. But whatever your business, I will aid you if I can.
Thanks.
Fate, dost thou require a new ally?
Yeah, light is more of a bit more offensive than life, that's for sure. Now, that's not to say that light cleric's bad. Light cleric's great. But like I said, I wanted someone that's just amazing at heals. Anyway, we shall now save the game.